Hi, I'm Ron with Amazing Mile Marker Stops, and today I'm going to show you how to soundproof your deck plate. Alright, the first thing you want to do is clean the top of your deck plate. If you have old insulation on there, you want to make sure you get it off and just get it clean so that the glue on the back of the soundproofing will stick to the deck plate. You don't want any loose material on here. Now there's different types of soundproofing, so every one of them may be slightly different how you install it. We are using the 1-inch acoustic foam that we purchased from West Marine. So that's what we're going to be showing you how to use today. Alright, so pull your soundproofing out of the box. Alright. So pull the little box out and just set it aside for the moment. You're not going to need it right now. First thing you want to do is kind of square it up on two sides. Now, my deck plate has a ridge all the way around here. And so the goal is to get it to set inside that ridge, but as close to the edge as possible. Once you're lined up on two of the edges, then all you have to do is measure for the other two edges. An ink pen works pretty good for writing on this stuff. Alright, so this is 19 and 7/8. This one is 38 and 5/8. Now about the easiest thing to cut this with is just any type of utility blade. Probably one of the adjustable ones like this is better because you can get the depth. Remember, this is 1 inch thick, so you want to be able to cut through that 1 inch. The first thing you want to do is just score through the aluminum, whatever this surface is. So don't try to make it through the whole thickness the first time around, or you'll probably not get a nice straight cut. So then come back, and then you can try to get the thickness. And this knife does not cut through that whatever the final layer, the thick layer on the bottom.
The barrier wall.
Yeah, it used to be lead. Now they use some sort of rubber or compound composite material. It looks like rubber to me, but this knife won't cut through that very well. I'm gonna feel it cutting through some. So you can kind of use it as a protection from scoring through to the wood. Alright, so once you've cut everything but the barrier wall, I find the easiest way to cut through it is with a heavy duty pair of scissors. These aren't your regular house scissors, these are heavy duty ones. And they will cut right through that barrier wall. Alright, once you have it cut, then you want to see how good of a job you did and see if it fits. And if you're like me, it won't. I've yet to get one to fit the very first cut.
I got plenty of room on my side up here.
But usually it's pretty close. Looks like this corner is the only thing that didn't work. Now, if it doesn't fit, generally what's holding you up is the barrier, which is pretty much this last bit right here. There's a little bit of foam on the other side of the barrier, so it's not 100% the last thing, but it's pretty close. And you can see the barrier inside there. The best thing to do is, what you're really trying to do is just cut that barrier out. So this is where what Marie was saying is cut at an angle. Just get that barrier out of there so that you'll go down inside. So now it fits. This soundproofing comes with a self-adhesive backing, and this paper is just protecting it so it doesn't stick to everything before you're ready. But because this is on a ceiling and its entire life it's going to be hanging upside down, and this is pretty heavy, over time just the weight of it could peel that self-adhesive off, even though it's a pretty strong glue on here. But still, because you're upside down, you want to help it out. So what they had provided is these little tabs. They're going to help hold that to the deck plate. Now, the instructions that come with this tell you to epoxy this to the deck plate. And if you're just absolutely 100% certain that you're never going to change this, then you can do that. But me, I don't like anything to be that permanent. So what I do instead is screw it down. It just takes 4 screws. It's not a big deal. You just place one in each corner. And that's going to hold it good and secure. If you have a walk-in engine room, then you're probably going to want to measure these to make sure that they're equally spaced, so that if somebody walks in your engine room and looks up at the ceiling, it looks pretty. I don't have a walk-in engine room. I have a crawl-in engine room. And if the deck plate is down and somebody's in the engine room, they are not looking up, trust me. Other than to avoid hitting their head on something, but your head, even crawling in there, is going to be too close to the ceiling to care about what it looks like up there. So I don't worry about it. I just kind of eyeball it and put it in the corner. Get your first 2 down. Do not worry about the rest. The problem is you've got this fitted to go in the right spot, but if you put all of your posts on at one time, then you've got to try to guess, because these are a good 1.5 inches up in the air. So you've got to guess where this is to be placed so that when you push it down, it'll be in the right spot. And that's a difficult thing to do. So just put 2 and then don't put any more at the moment. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the backing, but only about that far. Just far enough to clear your 2 posts. And then cut the excess backing off, just so that it won't be in your way. Now what you want to do is get it in place everywhere else but here. And if you have a second person helping you, have them hold that spot secure so it doesn't move on you. And then you're going to take this, do not roll it out. If you roll it out, when you get to here, you're not going to be in the right position, and you're going to have to rip a big gouge in your soundproofing to get that to be straight up and down, to get your post to be straight up and down. So what you're going to do is hold it this way, pull it kind of snug, and then go straight down. You see the flexibility I have here. So I'm not rolling it, and then I'm going to go straight down as I can, push down carefully on the nail, find out where it's going to pop through, and then get your glue to seat. Be very careful about these posts. They're extremely sharp and the same color as the backing, so you can't really see them, and they're so sharp, all you have to do is touch them and they'll puncture your skin. Once you put the glue down, it's stuck, so make sure you're in the right spot before you put any pressure on it whatsoever, because once it touches that wood, it is going to grab and it is not going to let go. Now grab another post and put him somewhere in the middle. Again, if you have a walk-in engine room, you're going to care how this looks. Most of us would crawl in the engine room. As long as it's somewhere around the middle, nobody's going to ever notice. And once you got the center post done, then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to remove enough backing to get past the center post, and then we're going to lay that much down before we put the last two posts on. Now, just like before, you do not want to roll this out. You don't want to roll it out. So if you got somebody helping you, have them pull that, and they want to keep tension on it as they lay it down, and you help hold up this side. And once you get to the post, you can see it poking out. Then you're gonna push it through, keeping it on, making sure that you're in, and then put your pressure down. Again, remember to keep an eye out for these sharp points. Don't squeeze down on them, it'll hurt. All right, just two more to go. All right, peel the rest of the paper off at this point. And again, keeping tension, don't roll it. You're going to lay it down on those nails. Now, if you get off a little bit and you got a little bit of your barrier wall getting in the way of getting down in your groove, then you can just take your utility knife and shave that off. All right, the next step is to deal with these deadly weapons. So what you want to do is you take these washer plates, and they go on, they do not come off, so make sure you get them right, because once they're on there, they're not coming off. You want to bubble up, because that's the way it's going to catch and not come back out. So take and push it on very slowly. If you push too hard and too fast, you're just gonna ram down on your soundproofing and cave it way in, and like I say, these won't back off. So very slowly push it on until you just touch. That's all you want to do, is touch. You don't want to actually be putting pressure, so just touch your soundproofing. Now you need a good pair of dikes or something that'll cut through what is effectively a nail, and you're going to cut pretty low. You're going to think you're cutting too low, but but you're not. Probably want to leave about 1/8 of an inch above this washer plate. You only want about 1/8 of an inch, if that. That's about 1/8 of an inch there. When you go to cut it, cover it with your hand because it's going to go flying. And your hand will keep it to where you can find it and throw it away. Then you're going to take this little cap that they provide. And all these things, I forgot to mention, the posts, the washer plates, the caps, all these things are in that box that was inside the bigger box. So take the cap and just press it down, and there you go. That one's done. Now there's going to be a little bit of a gap between the cap and the washer plate, and that's because of that bump on the washer plate. And of course the main purpose of the cap is to keep you from poking your head when you're crawling around in your engine room. There's one more thing you got to do. The last thing is we're going to tape up the edges, and that protects the edges, also helps keep sound from going where you don't want it going. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to take this tape and put about 1/2 inch on top of your soundproofing. And you want to be hanging over both ends. Now don't let this fall down, because if you do, it'll stick to the wrong places. So go ahead and smooth out your tape on top of the soundproofing. And then what you want to do is you want to curve this tape back, and then reach down in here. And the reason you're curving it back is just so it won't stick to the wrong stuff. Reach down in here and press the tape against the soundproofing. And then once against soundproofing, then you can come along and just go ahead and press it down onto the wood or whatever material is on your deck plate. So now you're going to trim up the edge. What you want to do is just kind of cut where you want the tape to end. And you may want to hang on to that little piece right there. Just don't put something that sticks to. I like to put it to the door handles on my cabinets, so they don't stick to that. Then what you're going to do is cut the excess portion like that, so that you can just fold it over. Then you're going to cut this way and then fold that over, and that should give you a pretty good seal. Now the reason you save an extra piece is if you happen to mess up on a corner and you've got a gap where you can see the foam, then you take that extra piece and seal that up, and you just cut it however you need to patch that up. And there you have it. Your deck plate is now soundproofed, and your boat will be a lot quieter.
Visit Amazing Mile Marker Stops.